Good evening. So, welcome to yet another session of Ask Me Anything. So, these sessions happen every Tuesday at 9 p.m. IST. Normally, what I do is I talk on a topic for about 5-10 minutes, and it's open to questions. People can ask questions, and I try to answer those. So every week we talk a different topic. Today we are going to talk about bone health in Ayurveda. Okay, how does Ayurveda look at bone and its health? Just the basics about it. So you'll have an idea what all we have to do to increase the quality of the bone also. Okay, so let's slowly get into this. So bone is called Asthi. Asthi is basically from the yes Krishna Namaste. So the word Asthi is basically from the root sthi or sthira, which means which gives stability. So Asthi is that dhatu which gives the shape to the body. It gives a lot of stability to the body. It is the strongest dhatu in the body. Now, function of Asthi is dharana. Okay, prinanam. Jivanam prinanam lepo sneho dharana puranahi. Dharana is, so prinanam is for rasa, prinanam jivanam, rasa rakta mamsa meda asthi. Prinanam jivanam lepo sneho dharana. Dharana is basically by asthi. That means it holds the body, it gives stability to the body. This is the function of asthi. Okay, now when you look at the dhatus, we have got the 7 dhatus. And we know that each and every dhatu is formed. The first dhatu that is formed is rasa. The whole body starts from the nourishment from the mother's food, right? That's how the body starts. The single cell, it gets nourishment from the body. That is rasa. And then that nourishment fills, and then then the recta, the blood comes, and the muscles come, the fat, and then the bone comes. So that is the order in which the body is getting created, and further as we live, that's the way it gets nourished also. So rasa to rakta, rakta to mamsa, mamsa to meda, medas to asthi. So it takes a lot of time for the asthi dhatu to actually form. If you look, by the time the child is born, the child does have bones, but it's not strong. It can bend. When a child falls down, normally, when the child falls down from somewhere, they don't break their bone. The bone bends a little bit because it's not hardened yet. So as we grow, the bones become stronger and stronger. Then majja is the marrow, and shukra is the semen. And then after a point of time, purana, that means that which fills the asthi is called majja. Then it slowly comes and fills the bones. Initially, for the child, the blood cells and all those things are created from the liver. And then slowly, as the body matures, you start getting the marrows, and then the bone marrow starts producing a lot of blood cells. So it's a process. So that's why asthi is the 5th dhatu. Now, dhatu formation, as I showed, rasa, rakta, mamsa, meda, asthi, majja, shukra is the way the dhatus get formed, and the depletion happens from the bottom. The shukra dhatu goes first, then the majja dhatu, then the asthi, medas, majja. That's the way the depletion happens. So construction happens from rasa to shukra, but the destruction happens. A normal thing, shukra to rasa. Okay. Now dhatus and tridoshas. You have got the ashrayi bhava, we call that. So vata is an asthi. There's a small mistake there. So, sorry. Vata is an asthi. Pittam to tatrasthino sthito vayu pittam to sweda raktayoho. Pitta is in the sweda and rakta. Sorry, when we add the malas also. But when you look at the dhatus, pitta is in rakta. Okay. But dusha wise, it's also there in sweda. So in the dhatus, you have got vata in the asthi, pitta in the rakta, and in all others, the rasa, mamsa, Medas, okay, Majja and Shukra, you have got Kapha. And now, how this is called Ashraya Bhava. And when you look at childhood, you know that early childhood is Kapha age, mid age is Pitta age, where you have got the fire, you have got the heat in the system. And then the third stage, old age, is Vayu, where depletion happens, breakage happens, denourishment happens, and you are going towards death. So that is the Vata stage. Okay, so when you look at Vata and Asthi, as you age, so here what happens is when the in Ashray Bhava, when the Vata goes up, the quality of Asthi goes down. But it is opposite for Pitta and Kapha. When Pitta goes up, the Rakta goes up. When Kapha goes up, all other go up. Okay. So when the Vata goes down or Vata is pacified, the quality of Asthi goes up. That is what you mean by Ashrayi Bhava. The dosha and the dhatu. They live, they are together. So when the Vata starts going up, the quality of the bone slowly starts going down. So as you age, naturally a Vata is going up. And if you indulge in activities and food which will increase the Vata even more, then what happens? Your quality of your bone even goes down. It becomes even more bad. So getting your Vata down to get the quality of your bone up is very important. Okay. So what happens? Lack of bone strength. Osteoporosis. It's a lack of bone strength is called osteopenia. Okay. The bone density goes down and you feel lack of strength. You have got tests, where you can find out the mineral density, bone mineral density, BMD they call it. You can make out how much of strength your bone has. Osteoporosis is extreme drop in density of the bone, and the bones start becoming porous. When you look at the maximum number of osteoblasts are the cells which contains hollow spaces. That's why so beautifully Acharya has told the Vata is in Asthi. Akasha and where maximum hollow spaces are in the bone only. So when the Vata goes up, this empty spaces start becoming bigger, or they start becoming prominent, and you've got a chance of it breaking there. So Vata has to be brought down for good bone health. Okay. So the causative factors are food and your lifestyle. Irregular foods, over spicy and what do you call, even bitter and astringent foods. Okay. And too much of acidic food, too much of dry foods will increase the vata and reduce the quality of your bone. And in activities, if you do over exertion like exercise, if you overdo your exercises, there are people who run too much, or cycling maybe 20 kilometers, 30 kilometers, 50 kilometers, but there are people who do 100 kilometers every day. What happens is then the vata starts going up and the quality of asthi also goes down. Okay. Ratri jagarana, sleeplessness, that means especially at night, if you don't sleep, your vata goes very high up and the quality of your bone goes down. Okay. Fasting is something. It's, as I said, I've been telling always that fasting is not meant for everybody. So if you are not fit for fasting, okay, taking into your food, your lifestyle, and your prakriti into consideration, too much of fasting denourishes your body, vata goes up, and then you have got a chance of your bone quality going down. Okay. So why management and how do you manage this? Okay. Because asthixia condition will actually lead to less bone strength. So we have to manage it. Okay. There's always a chance of fracture. It can break very fast. And bone is one of the main minerals. So it's not only calcium. Okay. Most of the minerals are stored in the bones and it is released when it is needed. So I would say taking care of the bones are important. Okay. And it is basically the place of vata. So if you have to age gracefully, with a lot of nourishment and strength, you have to see that the vata, anyway, as you age old, you're getting into vata age. Your vata has to be kept under control. So that's the reason why you have to manage this. And how do you do this? Food and activities to boost strength. Okay. And since you have got, see, what I've seen is a shiksha condition. And how do you do that? You have to food and activities to boost strength. Chance of fracture are more, so you have to be extremely careful as you age. Okay, bone is one of the so a good nutritiously rich food has to be given, and all vata reducing regimens like rest, panchakarmas, vasti, okay, application of oil, eating good food, relaxing, slowing down, and all those things are extremely important for you to see that your bone strength goes up. So you can start asking your questions. Okay, so I can see nowadays we are struggling with low vitamin D, which inhibits calcium. So please say that what you can do to improve. See, if your vitamin D is extremely low, okay, I would say due to whatever reasons you are living in a cold country, especially countries like Seattle and or places like Iceland, or where you don't have you have got very little sun exposure. It's always good for you to start with a supplement and then try to get into nutritious food and manage it. So I'm not against supplements, but if I say supplements not to be consumed on a regular basis, but if your values are extremely low, then you can supplement to bring it up, and then you should be able to manage it with good food. Okay, milk and milk products actually help your vitamin D go up really well. Ghee is also good. Okay, and then getting exposed to sunlight. Even though people say afternoon sunlight is good, I would say there is no hurry. So let us basically start getting exposed to morning sunlights or evening sunlights, which are less harmful. Okay, vitamin D is very important. Calcium also is very important. Okay, should be there in your food. What do you mean by irregular foods? Irregular food basically means, I would say, timings. Okay, probably sorry if I didn't put it clear. It's about timings. If you skip meals and if you don't have it on time, your digestion goes for a toss. And when your digestion goes for a toss, even if you consume rich food, calcium rich food, or any food, okay, your body finds it difficult to absorb it, digest it and absorb it, because your Agni is off track. So having food on time, predictability is very important for health. Hope you're able to understand that, Cynthia. So have irregular foods is irregular food timings. Are a nutrition rich foods also kashaya such as bitter greens, etc.? Yes, I don't say they are not. But what I am trying to tell you is kashaya rasa, predominantly astringent taste, increases vata. Okay, bitter gourd, yeah, bitter gourd is healthy. I don't say no, but consuming too much of bitter gourd is also de-nourishing because it will increase vata. If you look at the taste wise, sweet, sour, and salt pacifies vata. Okay, while spicy, bitter, and astringent will increase vata. That's why I said you should cut down on extremely bitter food as you grow old. Sesame seeds have high calcium. Can one have that on regular basis of calcium? See, Bhupendra, we calcium is what we sometimes get confused that we think that the bone is made only of calcium. As I said, there are a lot of minerals. Bone is where all the minerals are basically deposited and stored. So it's not only about calcium. Okay, for bone health, yes, calcium might be the major thing. So sesame seeds have calcium. That doesn't mean that you should consume sesame seeds on a regular basis. Milk is something which has been mentioned for that is something which you can consume on a daily basis. Good organic A2 milk will give you enough calcium, or buttermilk also, or curd also, yogurt also will also give you calcium. But the thing with the sesame seed, sometimes during summers it generates a little bit of heat, which might not suit most people. Okay. How does a senior balance kapha and vata? Gary, if you are predominantly kapha, then what happens is all your issues would have predominantly been over in your childhood. A cough, breathing issues, running nose, fever, and all those things. But predominantly vata person, he'll have a better childhood. But as you grow old, because you're a kapha person, if you're a kapha person, then your bodily strength is much better than a predominantly vata person. Because a vata person, as he ages, gets into vata age. Okay, so his age and his prakriti becomes similar, then you will have issues. But for a kapha person, when he slowly gets into the old age, also his strength is much better. So as you age, you see that you get into, as I said, get into activities and foods which will keep that kapha slightly on the higher side, and it is not good for you to what do you call, stay awake at night or do too much of exercise. So it's the way you understand what your prakriti is first. So if you are predominantly kapha, then you might be slightly blessed because you will not have too much of physical issues as you grow old. But if you're more of vata, then you'll have to balance it out more. Okay. Sunlight is very negligent here in Bangalore. Is trotter soup good for bones? Yes, you can have soups and all those things, but I don't say sun is very negligent here in Bangalore. It's that mostly you are indoors or you are busy in the kitchen or something, that you don't get exposed to sun in the mornings, and then you leave. If you are a working person, then you leave to office and then you come out of your office only after sunlight. The problem is that we are not, and uh, it doesn't mean that weekends you go out and play maybe 3-4 hours in the sun. uh, does that help? Yes, it's not that it doesn't help, but I would say small amounts of sunlight on a regular basis is much better than having larger amount of sunlight for shorter amount of time. So morning sun is milder, evening sun is milder. So try to get exposed to that sun more than afternoon sun is my thing. Yes, UV is more. All those things are fine, but your body gets more tired also. Does Abhyanga help bone health? Yes, Bhupendra. Anything that can pacify Vata. Abhyanga majaret nityam sa jarashrama Vataha. That pacifies Vata. Abhyanga pacifies Vata. Anything that can pacify Vata will directly improve the health of your Asthi. Okay, as simple as that. So if Abhyanga Majarit Nityam, if you are somebody who does Abhyanga on a regular basis, your bone strength is more. And for that Abhyanga, you have to, it's sesame oil base is the best thing. So there was a question about sesame oil and bone health, right? Same thing happens when you apply sesame oil on the skin. The effects of that sesame will slowly penetrate through your skin and get into the whole body. Naturally, if it gets into the whole body, wherever it has to get deposited, it will get deposited. So application of oil on the body, sesame oil base is a pure sesame oil also is enough, but using any oil, dhanvantaram thailam, akshirabala thailam, whatever it is. But the base is what? Sesame oil. Just sugar, steel, minerals, processed sugar, like bleached and all the sugar. People say that, it actually takes a lot of minerals out of the system, but I'm not very sure about it. I would say this is sugar is just a small thing, but sugar has not been considered to be bad as for Ayurveda. Okay. Sita. Sita pacifies Vata and Pitta, and it increases Kapha a little bit. So bone health, if you look like that, Sita is good. Okay, but you can't overdo it. But Ayurveda doesn't mention about processed sugar. Processed sugar nowadays, you add a lot of, you do a bleaching and all those things into it. That might not be very good. Weight training can help bone strengthening. Yeah, Bhupendra, if you look at joint pain, Sandhi Vedana. Sandhi Vedana or joint pain has been mentioned in Ayurveda in muscle weakness, Mamsa Kshaya. So, if your bones and all those things are sorry, if your muscles and other tendons and ligaments and all those things are toned and strong, what happens is the strain on your bones are less. Probably, if you have got less fat, you are not obese. Okay, you have got a really toned body. The amount of weight the bone has to carry is less. That means it gets, it's not stressed out or strained. It is also relaxed, and health of your bone gets much better. Okay, so that is why weight training to actually trim yourself is very good for bone health. Okay, see, bone normally is not the one that provides strength to the body. It only gives your body shape. Okay, the moment you remove all the surrounding soft tissues, fat, ligaments, all this, your this thing just crash. Your skeletal system. Skeletal system is basically to give that shape. Whatever you build around it gives it more strength. Yeah, welcome. I'm 53 in winter also. I'm able to wear woolen, feeling hot. What is the reason behind this? Renu, probably you might be extremely pitta. Okay. Even in winters, which part of are you from India or some other part? I don't know. So the reason why you're feeling hot is 100% in our parlance. It is because of too much of pitta. Okay. Whether it is the right kind of pitta or not is a different question. If you've got other issues like acidity or things like that, burning, or you have got burning sensation in your palms and soles, then pitta is more than normal. Then you have to remove that pitta. But otherwise, if that is the way you are, then you are more of a pitta prakriti. You can withstand cold than other people. Okay, but probably if you go to Europe, other places where it's extremely cold, probably you'll have to wear something. But otherwise, it's fine if it's not, if it is not Vikrita Pitta, if it is Prakrita Pitta, if it's a natural Pitta, it's okay, Renu. Can Abhyanga be done 2 hours before breakfast? Yes. I would say you do Abhyanga, wait for about 45 minutes, and then take a shower. Okay, you can probably do Abhyanga even 1 hour before breakfast. Okay, in the sense you have applied oil, you wait for 45 minutes, you take a shower, immediately you can have your food. Okay, but after breakfast, oh, that's a question. After breakfast, I would say give it at least 3 hours so that it digests really well and gets assimilated. I'm sorry, I got it wrong. Before breakfast, you can do. After breakfast, wait for at least 2 to 3. It also depends upon how heavy your food is. Okay, if you're somebody who eats a lot, then you'll have to probably wait for a longer period of time. I would say give it 3 hours. Okay, Krishna. What is the best food for bone health? No, there is not something like see, you will find a lot of calcium supplements, milk, that is all those things for bone health, considering that bone is made of calcium. But as I said, might be calcium might be predominantly there, but you've got that's probably you can go through probably Google and try and check what are all the minerals in bones. You will see all the minerals are deposited in the bones. So bone health is not about one eating something, one thing, but it is also milk is something which I would say would definitely help your bone health. But it's not about one. It is basically having a balanced food and a balanced lifestyle, which will help the quality of your bone. Because you remember the slides which I showed, the health of the bone depends upon the rasa, rakta, mamsa, meda. If your nourishment is good, then your blood quality is good. If your blood quality is good, then your muscle quality is good. Then your fat quality is good, and then your bone quality is good. So you can't directly go to your bone quality. So I would say if that is the best way, slowly build it. So your food, your lifestyle, your thought process, and all those things will definitely help you. Okay, Ashna, you are from Rajasthan. I think Jaipur and Udaipur and all those places get really cold, right? And if you are able to withstand that cold really well, then probably I think you might be a really high pitta person, well focused or driven, person, or somebody who gets can get angry pretty fast also. Okay. Can Abhyanga be done in the evening? Yes, Abhyanga can also be done in the evening, but I don't want you to take it too much into the evening. Might be 4 o'clock, 4:30. Would say after you have had your lunch at about say 1:30. Wait for about 3 hours, 3:34, 4:30. You can go for an Abhyanga. Wait for about half an hour, 45 minutes. Take a shower, and you are done by about 5:36. Actually possible by what you can finish by what, but it also depends upon where you are. If you're in a place which is very cold and gets dark pretty fast, then you have to think about it. But otherwise, yeah, evening, maybe you can do it about 4 o'clock, and you can take a shower by 5:15. No problem. Priya, I don't have any bone related issues at the moment, but low vitamin D may cause problems in the future, so I have to focus on that. Oh, yes, good. So, for that, I would say live a balanced life. Okay, not just focusing on the bone will not help you. What happens sometimes is, people focus a lot on too much of protein so that they want to build their muscles. So, when you, as I said, rasa, rakta, mamsa is where muscle is. So, if you're focusing only on one dhatu, okay, one tissue, what will happen to the tissues that follow after that? Medas, Asthi, Majja, Shukra, quality actually goes down. So I would say you should basically go for a balanced, all round nourishment. Okay. Why is it forbidden to teach the first chapter of Ashtanga Hridayam? I know I don't think it is forbidden to teach the first chapter of Ashtanga Hridaya, Ayush Kamiyam. Ayush Kamiyam Adhyayam is the most important chapter in Ashtanga Hridaya. I have taught so many people the first chapter. I just probably, we are finishing the first 15. I'm going through a course right now, teaching students where I'm finishing the 15th chapter. So we have finished the first chapter. We keep on going. The Ayushkami Madhyayam is a concised chapter which speaks about small basics of whole of Ayurveda. It is not forbidden to teach. I don't know that. I've been teaching it left, right, center. Yeah, Krishna, you live in Bangalore. Yes, you can do Abhyanga. See that you can't come back from office at about 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock and start doing your Abhyanga. I don't think that is actually good. You can do it early in the evening. Okay. Kartik. I teach offline. I do teach online. But online, what the problem is that I don't find time. So I'm just going through a course right now, which I've been doing for the past 2 years now. We finished 2 years in December. So that is something which has been going on for quite some time. I started with the basics of Ayurveda. So yes, I do teach online. I do teach offline too. Okay. Have you heard of this remedy where you sleep with rose petals on your eyes under blindfold to calm excess pitta? Yes, so you don't have to use. See, many places you might not get rose petals. You can also use jasmine flowers, and it is the reason why they ask you to put it on the eyes is because, okay, chakshus tejomayam. That means eyes is a sthana of pitta, tejas, fire. So it is one other thing which will calm you down, but I don't think very angry. If you're very angry, you should manage it yourself in your mind. You can't be very angry and just put rose petals or something on your eyes and expect that to calm you down. You have to first of all understand what is making you angry. Working around resolving that is the best thing. Applying chandana paste of sandalwood, okay, on the hands and under the feet, and also closing your eyes. So that's what you close your eyes, apply sandalwood, and then put the jasmine flowers or lotus petals on the eyes will cool you down. Apply a little bit of oil on your head also will cool you down. Yes, it is a part of treatment. Krishna, no, I don't know. It is not. But by and large, you can follow it. It's not that whether brushing your teeth first would be okay, whether you should do Kabbalah first or Nasya first or things, if it depends upon whichever you're comfortable with. But if you can follow that sequence, it is good. Okay. But that doesn't mean that you should be very, very, very strict about it. As long as you do it, I would say, normally people say you apply oil and then you do your exercise. That's what the Dinacharya says. But that need not be done because for me, I don't do exercises in the morning. I don't get the time to do in the morning because it's a rush push for me. I get up in the morning, I have to do a little bit of puja and all those things and then rush to my clinic and come back. I go to for my fitness in the evening at 4:30. So if at all my abhyanga and all those things happens in the morning, but my exercises happen in the evening. So as long as you do it, you try to incorporate things in your dinacharya is good enough. Okay, if you can get in that order, that might be the best. But I would say at least you start following your dinacharya, even if it's not in that a specific order, but try to incorporate it. Okay, Krishna. Yes, vitamin D it definitely has. B12 also, but B12, probably unpolished rice would be a better source. Okay, for most of the things, it daily consumption of buttermilk will help. But I'm telling you, don't focus too much on your vitamin D or your B12 or your calcium. Let us go balanced. If these are very low, then you can focus on that. But otherwise, there are other things also which the body needs, which we are not focusing too much on. Okay, so let us go balanced here, Priya. Next batch of our course, I'll probably, I might have, I might be coming up with a very short course, might be, on the basics. There are a lot of people who are asking me. There are a lot of people who don't know the basics of Ayurveda. So from the Pancha Mahabhuta or the Dhatu, Doshas, and all those things, I might be coming up with one shortly, early next year. And then after that, I'll be looking for a longer course. Okay. So stay tuned. It might be there on my Instagram. You can, yeah, when it gets announced, it'll be there. Okay, but definitely I'm coming up with a short course where I'll be explaining the fundamentals of Ayurveda and how Ayurveda works. Not feeling acidic or any other burns, how to pacify extreme pitta. Extreme pitta, if you feel that you've got too much of extreme pitta, then I would say one thing you can do is you can soak probably about 8 to 10 raisins in water, squeeze and drink that water on a regular basis and see how you feel. If drinking milk or grape water can lead to soft bowels, then we know for sure that you've got excessive pitta. Probably once in 2 3 months, you can take some medicines to probably induce slight loose motions that will get the pitta out of the system. I'm experiencing disturbed sleep at night, and suppose it's because of low vitamin D. You can go through a blood check, Priya, and if it's extremely low, let us start with some supplements like D rice or something which will bring it up, and then you should be able to manage it. Okay. And as I said, your lifestyle is good. You have to get exposed to the sunlight, and sunlight, we sunlight is not only for your vitamin D or all bone health or something. Sunlight is something which can take care of a lot of issues, including your mood. Okay. You notice that if you are the days you are exposed to sun, your mood is much better. The other days you are gloomy. Okay. There are a lot of benefits which you can get through sun. Your digestion is better. Your energy levels are good. Your mood is better. Your excretion is better. Everything, lot of things depend upon your exposure to sunlight. Okay, it's critical that you start getting exposed to sunlight. Which dosha causes eye disorders like myopia? How does Ayurveda focus eye health? You know, see, as I said, chakshus tejo mayam tatra visheshat sleshmajo bhayam. The sense, even though eye is a sthana of pitta, it is constantly under the fear of kapha taking over, because this is kapha sthana. So myopia is basically the intervention of kapha coming there. So Ayurveda focuses, yes, Ayurveda, actually there is a branch called Shalakya Tantra which focuses on eye health. Okay, and Karthik, I would say there is a hospital called Hridayam, which is a 350, now they have increased it, 400 bedded, a 400 bedded eye hospital, Ayurvedic eye hospital in Kerala. Okay, you'll surprise that a lot of people who undergo a lot of eye treatment here and there, after one, they come to this place because they have not got the desired effect from other branches of medicine, ophthalmology, and they come to this hospital and they are really treated well. Okay, Sri Dhariyam is the name of the hospital. It's called the Eye of Ayurveda. I'm a Pitta Vata Prakriti person. Can I leave hair oil overnight? I am not a huge fan of leaving oil overnight. The sense, you might be a Pitta Vata Prakriti, but the nights, the moment you are lying down and you become still, sthira, your kapha goes up. Okay, your pitta and vata is only when you're moving. The moment you lie down still, your kapha goes up. Nights are cooler. You have always got a chance of catching congestion as you apply that oil and leave it overnight. Keep a watch on that. If you don't have, it's okay. But still, I would say it's always good to apply oil in the mornings and then wash it. Okay. Iron supplements causes cons. What to do to manage that condition? Iron supplements, if beyond a certain limit, will only cause constipation. I ask people to generally start cooking in iron kadai on a regular basis. That will slowly but surely see that a little bit of iron gets into your system on a regular basis, because how much ever you depend on and plant sources, it's very difficult for you to get that amount of iron. That's why we always believe that cooking in iron vessel is the best way to get iron into your system. So, plantain, yes, it contains a little bit of calcium, sorry, iron. Palak, the red palak contains it, but those are very little. So the best thing for you to do is to cook in an iron kadai. The color of the sabji must become slightly black, but it's okay. It's very healthy. I am not somebody who is very, very sure about how to do Trataka. Okay, I'll have to refer it myself, Bhupendra. Okay, because I don't want to guide you in the wrong way. So let me do my homework and get back to you about right way to do Trataka and what will be the best time to do. Okay, sorry about that. Is Mandagini the reason behind accelerating armor formation process? Yes. Okay. There is no other reason why you get armor. Ushmano alpabalatvena dhatu pakamapachitam. Okay. Ushmano alpabalatvena. Ushma means the heat, Agni. Alpabala. When the strength of that is reduced, that means it is Manda Agni. And the Agni is Manda, you have got a chances of getting ama. And it is not only in the stomach. Sometimes you might feel hungry to eat things. But the problem is that when this is overloaded, when your Jataragni is overloaded, the Dhatu Agni becomes Manda. Okay. When the Dhatu Agni becomes Manda, the tissues I'm telling you. So the conversion of Rasa to Rakta to Mamsa to Medas and all those things. Initially, Rasa to Rakta happens. After that, you know what happens? As it grows, slowly, because it becomes heavier and heavier. And it stops it becomes very slow at Medo Dhatu. That's why people put on a lot of weight. Okay. Your Agni and all those things, the moment you start moving, all the deposited things will start moving from the koshtha, from the trunk to the shakhas, to the branches or the extremities. So when you start doing exercise and all those things, you slowly start losing weight. So ama is definitely because of Mandagni, but don't think it's only in the Jatragni, it's also in the Dhatu. But what to do when there's no sunlight out there? We barely get to see sunlight in the morning here in Bangalore in winters. It's getting very cold here. I think evenings then you should be able to step out. See that you don't have sunlight. The body doesn't know this. Okay, so when you don't have sunlight and you're always indoors, then probably you have to resort to something which will counterbalance that. But the good effect of sunlight cannot be replicated. Okay, you don't have a substitute for sunlight. Like, when kids are born and they have got mild jaundice, you call that itrius, when they have got that, they try to mimic sunlight, The best thing is to expose the child to sunlight, and so you see that the skin color getting better. That's what our elders and ancestors used to do, getting the child exposed to sunlight. Now what they do is they put the child in the incubator with lights with the golden light which mimic sunlight for the body to get the bilirubin to get out of the body. But the best thing is there's nothing like sunlight, I'm telling you, Priya. So you'll have to work on that. I know it's very cold and you're feeling sad and depressed about it, but what can I do? You'll have to look for sunlight. Okay. Move away from Bangalore, Priya. Okay, so slowly we are coming to the end of today's session. I think there are no more questions today. I think we are done, right? So we'll meet next week with some other topic. So what I want to tell you is, focus. Don't let us not focus on one dhatu, like taking too much of protein for your muscles, or taking some vitamin D or calcium for your bones. These are not individual structures. Okay, one actually blends into the other, and everything is interrelated. So whatever helps your uh, blood quality improve will also ultimately improve the quality of your bone. Everything is one whole structure. Let us look at this body as one structure and try to nourish it completely, not look at it part by part. Okay, so with that, see you next week. Good night.